Hey, you ever checked your Google Search Console or the analytics pane in your Squarespace account and found out that, people were finding your business, your website through the weirdest search terms, something you completely did not expect? I recently came across kind of an odd situation here where a website was getting traffic from My Little Pony, and they're not in that game. They're a consultancy. So, yeah, you heard that right. My Little Pony. Look, I'm gonna explain how unintended keyword rankings happen, and I want to make a note that this isn't always bad. Sometimes weird traffic can be useful. So this is not meant to be just general negative or bad situation, period. But it certainly is challenging for a business because it erodes at your conversion metrics and other metrics on the site, like page views and time on site and things, because those are just assumed to be massive bounces. And, what happens most of the time in this case is that it comes from blogging or an article of content in general that you use a metaphor or an analogy, or maybe even it's just a random mention. And you have to watch that, certainly if you're posting any content that AI has generated for you. Anything you use as a metaphor or an analogy can and will be used against you in Google. So you will get search traffic for that phrase. If Google has a strong understanding of what it is that your business does and your sort of semantic structure is strong, and by that I mean, your titles, descriptions, and your alt text and your images, the header text on your website, like the H1 text, it reduces the odds. But if all of that stuff is weak, context can be difficult to assess. So you might wind up ranking. And other things are factors too, like the popularity. In this case, My Little Pony is a huge franchise of toys and cartoons. I believe it's owned by Hasbro. And if it's crazy popular like that, yeah, it gets tons of traffic. They're gonna rank as many pages as they can for it because that's the business they're in. So there's a few things you can do to disassociate that. But what I was just referring to is basically a bit of a content audit. But if you're ranking for something or getting traffic for something that you don't want your business associated with, certainly if it's like super negative in shady industries, then you definitely want to go through this process of checking for any stray phrases or analogies, cultural references on old blog posts. Sometimes, I've seen this only a couple times, you'll say something or do something in content on the website, and then in the future, there's a popular news topic, current affairs, cultural event, whatever it is, that suddenly is associated with that phrase, even though you had mentioned it a while back. That's an outlier, but it does happen. So even though maybe we thought we were clever at the time, at this point, we just want to disassociate that content with the website. So it's really not difficult. The first thing you can do, highly recommend, is just get rid of the article. Just delete it and then redirect that URL to the top of your blog or to your homepage. And that's a pretty quick way to at least get that disassociated. And that 301 redirect is going to help. It lets, instead of an error, it literally tells search engines that that URL is not there anymore, and they can quickly reassess and reevaluate that context. You can remove the page from your sitemap You can choose put a no index meta tag. In Squarespace, you can say, don't share this page with Google. You can't do it for an individual blog post in there, though, so that's a bit of a challenge. You're going to need to get rid of the article or rewrite the article, removing the metaphor. Now, if the entire article is based on that metaphor, okay, maybe the article has to go. Chances are the article is not driving significant traffic for targeted keyword phrases. Certainly context here is a bit jumbled, so I wouldn't sweat it too much. But, you know, it's easier on some platforms than on others to no index a single page based on settings. So there's code for that. I'm not going to bore you with code here, but it's pretty easy to find, or just ask your local LLM, your favorite LLM, and it'll spit out that code lickety split. It's simple. It might be 13 characters. It's pretty short. So like I mentioned, you can refine it, but that's only going to go so far. So if you publish more content using that metaphor, you've got a bigger problem, because now we need to teach Google something. So the thing I recommend, if you have to keep the article, is basically go to Google Search Console, and there's a feature where you can disassociate that link. That tells Google that we don't want to rank for this, or we don't want this page indexed. And that works for about 6 months, and you're going to need to do it again. And that's as of this, I was going to say as of this writing, that's as of this recording. And maybe that changes in the future. This is probably the fastest way. I mean, honestly, you should probably do both. No index the page, well, delete the page, and or no index the page, and let Google Search Console know that you don't want that page to be indexed anymore. I think that if you do all three, you're in pretty good standing. It should only take a few days to a few weeks for that traffic to start to diminish, and hopefully in a couple of months, it's gone entirely. If you've gotten rid of the page, it'll be gone entirely pretty quickly. If the page is still there, keep in mind that there are other links to those pages or to your website, because there are really spammy blogs out there that are like automate links, link building platforms, and you might be linked in a topic or a topical blog or index website, some dark web thing that is going to associate your site and your domain with that keyword phrase you don't want. You may have been listed in subject matter content or blogs for websites that are topical to the metaphor or the analogy, and there isn't much you can do about those either. You can ask them to unlink you. You may or may not ever get a response from those people, if there are even people behind it. So I would say the best thing, delete it. No index it. Go into Google Search Console and say, we don't want to be associated with this page, or don't link to this page, don't index this page. It does a few things. So if you wake up one day and you realize that your professional site is ranking for My Little Pony or whatever, it could be, you could make a e-cig reference, you could do a musical reference like for guitars or anything popular like that. Cars, common analogy is cars. Don't stress, don't freak out. You can fix it. Just go through the 3 easy steps that I just mentioned. So I hope this was helpful. It certainly is topical in my world right now. So we've just gone through the exercise here. So we don't have any reporting yet that says, maybe I'll hit back in the future if we see that the traffic and references from that keyword phrase are going away. Maybe that would be nice. That's the goal anyway. So I hope this was informative, a little off the beaten path, but That's what we do here when we go live. That's what we do. So I appreciate you. I hope you have a great weekend. It is a Friday, September 5th. You made it 10 minutes. I super appreciate you. I will talk to you next week. Have a good one. Oh, I got to do a thumbnail moment. Ready? We haven't done an intentional thumbnail moment in a while. It's been weeks. And my title is going to be Keyword Disassociation, Fixing Unwanted SEO Traffic. I think I should be like grumpy. I should probably like I don't want it. I guess I just did it. I can screen capture that. The thumbnail, I think it's going to say bad keywords. I think that works. Wrong traffic, fix SEO misfires, and I also have Google got it wrong. No, I don't like any of those. I like bad keywords the best for this topic. But listen, like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you think you have a better idea for thumbnail text, then I'm open to it. Bang it down there. I might even update the thumbnail for you. I don't care. It's no big deal. All right, I'm done clowning. Have a great weekend. I will talk to you Monday.